As I open on this week, I sent out an email notification as we enter into this week. Over the next 5 Sundays, what I want to talk about are heroes. Heroes. I want to talk about unlikely heroes. I want to talk about unlikely heroes that have what we call an uncommon faith. Now, I don't want to date myself too much, but I want to talk about heroes. Now, all of us have had or have heroes, all right? And so, you know, somebody's hero may be the mama or the daddy, but if we're talking about just real heroes when you're a kid growing up, my hero growing up, I don't know about y'all, but it was a $6 million man. Some of y'all kids don't know about that. $6 million man. He was a bionic man. He could do anything. He was strong. He could lift up anything. And I used to think, boy, if I could just be like him. You know, somebody's hero might have been Superman, where, you know, he was faster than a speeding bullet. And he could leap buildings and fly and all that. Somebody's hero might have been Wonder Woman. You remember she would just spin around in a circle and just change and become just, you know, and never understood how they'd be shooting at her, and they never could hit anything but her arm wrist. You know, remember she'd block it with the wristbands, and she had a belt, you know. But there was heroes to us. They could do things that were just beyond the normal realm of everyday people. And while those heroes exist, some of you younger, more modern kids, you know, your hero might be Spider-Man or Pokemon or whoever, some kind of man. But you know, you know what I'm talking about. If your mindset is about looking at it through the lens of the modern hero, we look at the supernatural power that they exist, that they possess, and it makes us want to be close to them. It makes us want to, you know, it makes us look like, man, they can do something that's beyond the average person. But in the Word of God, there are also heroes. Now let me help you understand the difference between the heroes that God has taught, that has outlined for us, and the heroes that we're used to seeing on television. The heroes that we used to read about. These heroes that God used were just like us.
All right.
They were just regular folk.
Yeah.
Who had all kind of flaws and issues in their life.
That's right.
But there were some common things that they had that made them who they became. And God says, that's why I want you to hold on for just a second in your spirit. And my question to you, as I share it over the next 5 weeks, is not only are you a hero, but who's your hero? Your spiritual hero. Who's the one who brought you into the knowing about Christ? Who's the one who introduced you to the real man? The real Superman.
All right. All right.
We all admire heroes. We get inspired by who they are and the courage and bravery that they display in the face of unsurmountable odds. You remember watching how, you know, Superman would show up and they'd be proof and their bullets would just pop off his chest. And I always would think, man, you know, boy, it's a bad boy. And I think some brothers now be trying that and it ain't working. They be jumping out in front of them bullets and then somehow they didn't bounce off like Superman's did, but that's a different story. But in the Word of God, we learn, and we want to learn about the kinds of heroes the Scriptures show us. Today we want to talk about Gideon. Gideon was a hero, but he didn't start off a hero. And many of you, men and women of God, who don't see yourself as a hero, I'm praying that this will inspire you. I'm praying that it will elevate your mind to a point of understanding that God is the one who determines your hero status. You don't even get to choose. Matter of fact, God says sometimes it's because of your broken and your weakness that I chose you specifically to be a hero. And so look, he says, it's not the question of how great you are or your faith is. It's the focus of the object of your faith. And so when you have faith and when you say, I have faith in God in all things, it qualifies you to be a candidate for heroism. Yeah. So if you don't want to be utilized by God as a hero, just don't have faith. Because if you look at this, many of us, our struggle is that we're going through so many issues and circumstances that we can understand that God is actually utilizing you to be somebody's hero. Yeah. And I'm not talking about cake stuff. No, I ain't talking about boomerang Batman kind of quickness. I'm talking about that when they look at your life, that it encourages them to continue to walk this walk when it gets hard. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of hero that God is preparing some of us to be. And I know you keep thinking and you keep reflecting and you keep saying that, but my life is so messed up, or my past is so bad. How can he be utilizing someone like me to be a hero? I'm glad you brought that up. If you look at the Webster's Dictionary, defines victory as the overcoming of an enemy or an antagonist. And it says, and with just 300 men, and I'm going to help you real quick, Gideon won the greatest victory ever known to man.
Yes, he did.
Now you say, what? With 300 men, he ought to be able to win. No. Yeah, he had 300 when he went in. He went in with 300. But that ain't what he started with. And that ain't what he went up against. And I want to help you. That's why I want to talk about the title of this message is sometimes when you're against all odds, can you stay the course? Because sometimes God will take you where you are and the odds don't look good for you. And God says, I just need you to hold on because I'm doing something through you that's going to impact somebody's life, and I need you to stay in it. I know you don't see yourself as a hero. I know you don't feel like you're a hero, but I need you to understand this ain't got nothing to do with you right now. I'm using your circumstance and your situation to be a blessing to somebody. And I need you to understand it's only when you understand how God works that you'll learn to trust him. And it's in your faith. Your faith is what qualifies you to be a hero. Yeah. It's not you. It's not you being a hero. See, your supernatural power is connected to somebody beyond your control. God says, no, it's when you have faith in me, that's what gives you supernatural power. I didn't understand it before, but I get it now. Gotta get it now. Look at Judges. Look at Judges 6 and 7. It says about the text that I want to stick this with hinges on 7. Chapter 6, right at verse 7. The Bible tells us that the spiritual climate of Israel was down and determined to be destitute and dejected and disgusting and sinful. To the point that God said, I brought you up out of Egypt. I did all of this for you. And this is what you're doing. And now he's at a point right here, verse 7, it says, and in those days, there was no king in Israel. You know how it is when you don't have nobody ruling over you. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Be careful with that.
All right, Pastor.
Look at 6 right here. It says, and so the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. And then watch what the Lord does. The Lord then gave them into the hand of Midian for 7 years. What do you do when you're the reason for your oppression? What do you do when you're the reason that you're in captivity? God has opened the floodgates and poured out blessings for you, and you forgot where they came from. That we start operating as we're the ones creating our blessings. Be careful, watch this. And God says, because of your disobedience, because of your choice for allowing other gods to be the center of your life, I am going to give you over to the hands of the enemy. And then they're going to not just push you into captivity, but they're going to torture you. They're going to take your stuff. They're going to have you so afraid to operate that you're going to be hiding out in caves. This is what the atmosphere was like for 7 years. And even then, watch this, it took them that long to finally get to a point where they said, enough's enough. And so they cried out, God, Lord, help us. And just like God always does, he sends a prophet. He sends a man of God with a word. And he tells them, these are the things that I need from you. There's some people in here right now that you're trying to figure out why you're struggling in the areas right now. And I just want to drop this in your spirit. I'm not trying to criticize you, but it could be that you're allowing some other gods to rule in your life. No. I know you're coming to church. I know you're on faith. I know you pop some positive statements on Facebook here and there. I know all of that. But it could be that Monday through Saturday there's some other gods that are ruling your house. And I want to help you understand. Listen, so there's some things that he says that in this story of Gideon, he helps us see there's some principles that we can build on in our faith to help us in our heroism. He says, I want to use you to be a blessing to somebody, but before I can get you there, there are some things I need for you to do. The first thing is listen, before you can experience God's best, you must break the cycle of sin in your life.
All right.
You know what that means for you?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Sometimes the greatest motivator we have is pain. Pain in your life. Here's a people that are supposed to be living free. They're supposed to be a blessed nation. They've already been allowed to experience the blessing and the covering of God. And he says, I'm going to be with you. And he's hovering over them and he's moving with them wherever they go. And yet, even in the midst of his presence and all of the assurance he's given them, who am I talking to? You know who you are. Even in all of his presence in your life and all of the assurances that he's given you, how many issues he's already brought you through and over. And even in the midst of all of that, we're still operating at times in a cycle of sin. What's the cycle look like in your life? Is it 1 week I'm all committed, and the very next week I'm on my own thing?
Come on.
That's what he's talking about. And what I learned in this study is one of two things. Every church across this country, this world, every Christian is either living in the book of Joshua or you're living in the book of Judges. We're either overcoming or we're either being overcome. You're either conquering or you're being conquered.
Come on.
That's the reality. And in Judges, listen, here is I want to drop this one more time because I don't know if you got it. God is allowed his people to be turned over to the enemy.
That's right. That is working.
See, I got to pause there, people, because look at what we're dealing with in our country,
That's right.
in our cities.
Yeah.
And I'm honest. People say, well, why is the God letting this? No. I need you to understand something. God says, I'm always with you,
Yes.
except when you are not in alignment with me. When you're not doing, you're outside of my will. That's when you're exposed. And listen, and there's some generational curses that are going on. You can break it. By your obedience and your realignment is what protects you. But it's some folk that think they can play with God. They can tiptoe around with God. And it doesn't work like that. Because he says, I brought you up out of an oppressed situation. Who do you think you are fooling around with? You think I'm playing a game? Now this is God talking about me. I told you I have a land full of blessings for you. I took those folk and gave you their stuff. And you want to act like this with me? And I told you not to worship those gods. I told you to leave that stuff alone. I told you not to put that before me. And you're trying to figure out why you're going through what you're going through until you realign yourself with me. I'm turning you over. That's what it said. He says he gave them.
Come on.
The blessing is, listen, that ought to get you excited right there. Midian didn't take nothing.
That's right.
He gave them. And the only way, who allowed them to be given, God says the only way I allow the enemy to conquer you is to teach you.
Come on.
I'm not trying to destroy you,
Yes, sir.
but I gotta teach you.
Yes, sir.
I love you enough to let the enemy at times, I'll use the enemy to be a blessing to you if it'll save your life. And sometimes your turmoil, the adversity in your life is God trying to get your attention that you've been playing with me too long. I'm getting tired of this. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
So he says,
That's good teaching, Pastor.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
so
sir.
he says, he turned them over to the enemy because they did evil in his sight.
Yeah.
And in Judges 6:3 tells us that at the time of harvest, listen, watch this. When they had sown, the enemy came at the time of harvest. Watch this. Not only did God allow them to become subjective to oppressive behavior, but now everything they sown, the enemy is taking over. You're trying to figure out why your stuff keeps coming up missing. Just helping you today. You keep sowing these seeds and stuff keeps growing and you can't hold on to it. Every time you make 2 steps, you end up feeling like you just can't get ahead. Because the enemy, every time you see harvest, they show up and take your stuff. I'm just trying to help you today. And God says, it could be that the stuff you've been sowing is not sown in my name.
Come on now.
You always gonna see folks show up at harvest time. Where they at when it's time to do the planting? Last time I checked, it's much. Don't get me wrong. I know what harvest in a field is. I'm not a farmer, but I know how to pick. If I gotta pick some potatoes or pick some tomatoes off the vine, I know how to do that. And we can get some baskets, but that ain't as hard, nearly as hard as toiling the ground and putting the seed. Where you at when it's time to do the plant? When the real work is going on. That's what I want to know. And listen, but the enemy, what he does, he sits back and waits for you to do the work, and then he comes and pilfers and takes your stuff. God said, but because my hand's not on you, it's not covered. Children are being plucked up. That's the harvest. They're being plucked up because there's no covering. There's no protection from them, for them. That's why you're seeing devastation and destruction, because folks are taking and doing evil in the sight of the Lord, and they're trying to figure out why they can't stay ahead. I know who you're talking. Yeah, you say it's classic weekend, and because the world declares it a time of partying and celebration, we think we got to drop everything and participate. But then on Sunday we want to walk in. You know how I'll never go here, but I got to go here right now, because listen, the world don't define your salvation. You do. You know how good God is. You know what you said you were doing for him, and God said, and you can't do it for me, I'm the one who's been covering you. I'm the one who had your back when nobody else did. I'm the one who opened the door when it closed in your face. I'm the one who closed the door that you kept trying to open and destroy you. That was me. You want to pick and choose when you come and serve me? That's not who I am. You're playing games with me. Enough is enough, and he'll turn you over to the hands of the enemy. But even when we get out of, he says the cycle of sin has to be broken. Okay, we'll move. Because the devil, listen, the devil always knows that if he can destroy you, he can get to your harvest. See, he can discourage you, and then he can cause you, to feel disconnected, and he can get you to fall away. And so, listen, right away, your sinful life is a disconnector. Okay, I'm not an electrician, but I did learn this, that in order for something to have power, it has to have a certain connection. If you plug a cord in and it doesn't have the right connection, you don't get what? Power. And sometimes, the devil knows that, listen, if I can just get them disconnected, then they won't have the power to deal with the stuff that's coming into their life. And somebody here right now is trying to figure out why you can't handle the issues. He said because you're disconnected and you don't have the power that you need to speak against the enemy when he comes up in your face talking that noise. You ought to be able to have the kind of confidence and faith in God that when he comes into your face, you can tell him to get out of my face. Get behind me. But that's only when you're connected to the power source. Because no matter what happens to this old dirt bag, this old earth suit I got on, you can't handle, you can't touch my spirit. God says, I am the owner of that. I gave you what life is now. You're a new creature in me. And so I said, from here on out, devil, it's a boxing match. And I ain't boxing with my power. I got Mike Tyson kind of power. Some of y'all even know the kids don't even know who's Mike Tyson. Not only do we have to break the cycle of sin, but listen, we have to be able to understand God sees us not for who we are, but who we can become. And so he'll allow things to come into your life for a purpose, to bring you into the alignment and the fulfillment of what he's destined for you. And so listen, sometimes we get upset because we're dealing with the adversity. But if in the adversity God shows up, then I need to really start to praise him for the adversity. Because if it had not been for the adversity that he sent into my life, I probably would have never submitted or repented. I would have stayed on that track or that street. And that street was leading me to death and destruction. But it was God's adversity that came into my life. He turned me over to the hand of the sin, but he never left me. He never forsake me. I didn't understand it at the time, but then he brought me into the right alignment, and now I'm a whole new creature. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so he said, because what I saw in you, you didn't see in me. Yeah. And I used to look in the mirror, I didn't see, what is this preacher? Where does he see that? I didn't see that. Preacher, minister, and okay, I finally accepted that part, because I said, well, I can be the minister, but I can still kind of, that's why y'all know what I'm talking about, he was startled. But then when he whipped me again, come on. Put me in the lower place. He said, no, not just minister. I need you to lead. I need you to shepherd. I need you to feed. Me? Yeah, you. Don't worry about how you look right now. God says what you're going through is not your finished product. What you look like now is not your end product. You don't know what this sounds. Listen. I know you don't feel like much. But God says, don't worry about it, because I'm just doing a work in you that you're not done yet. When I get done with you, then you'll see what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, I need you to keep trusting me. It's in your obedience. And listen, sometimes when you're going through, you feel like God has left you. But I want to encourage you real quick. The other point is you got to understand that just because you don't feel the presence of God doesn't mean he's not present. The devil will make you think and feel that he's absent from you. And God says, no, I'm here. And matter of fact, the reason you're going through what you're going through is because I'm here.
right.
because you were doing wrong in my sight. And I had enough love for you to allow a little bit of turmoil to get you off track, to bring you back into submission and align your life with me. That's my purpose. I know it doesn't feel good, but that's all right. I don't want you to feel comfortable right now. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to feel uncomfortable enough so every day from here on out, you don't do nothing but worship me because you said, I know in the hand of Israel, God on my side. That's what he's saying. And so listen, don't let the presence of the problems make you think that God is absent. It's the evidence of the problem that ought to let you know he is who he is. And listen, the problem ought to be evidence saying, oh, well, God must be close. Because the devil will let you focus on your problem. And God says, I'm bigger than any problem you ever face. The question is your focus on the problem or on your God? Can you just real quick watch this? Some of you in verse 16 it says, God responds, I'll be with you. Do you really believe that? Because listen, be honest, sometimes we go through this journey of life, operating in a technical way. Go to church, have prayer, we sung the songs, clapped our hands, we said amen, we went home. Church was good today, y'all. Do you believe that God is with you?
Yes, oh God.
Do you believe it? Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you face, that God is with you. Because look at Gideon. Now in Gideon's life, everything around him was being used. It was nastiness. It was being used to worship idols in opposition of what God had already told them to do. And even though he was still trying to honor his life with God, God said, he shows up in the midst of all that's going on. Who am I talking to?
Right.
And his spirit, the angel says, you. Now he finds Gideon in the basement. I'm using that as his basement. But in a wine press, threshing to make food. Now, if you know anything about threshing, most of the time they would do it at a higher level and in an open plain so that the wind would blow the chaff away as they would thresh. But this dude is so scared from the oppressors that he's now hiding down in a low place.
Yeah, all right now.
Threshing.
Yeah.
But he says he's a believer
Yeah.
in God.
Yeah.
But he's in the middle of nothing but chaos and sin. Who am I talking to? That you got a home like that. You got some friends like that. You got some neighborhoods like that. You're in the midst of nothing but chaos and turmoil. But you're a believer. You're trying to live the way God has asked you to live. But in your life, everything around you looks bleak and looks devastating. And now it has you hiding out
My God. Lord have mercy.
in a low place.
My God. My God.
Threshing.
My God.
And but this is what I love about God. God says, no. I know you down there. But this is how I work. The way you're operating, the way you think, you in fear. The word of God says, do not live in fear. But you're a believer. You said, God said, I'm with you. If you believe he's with you, why are you scared? Because you're a human. That ought to release some people. Your natural instinct is, even if you have faith and confidence, to operate in a level of fear when you think your life might be in danger. That's just normal. So turn to them and say, I am normal. I thought I wasn't, but now I see I am. Okay, I'm good. Because even though he was a believer, he was hiding out. But watch this. Some people would have called him a punk. Some people would have called him a scaredy cat, a chicken. But he was normal. Because, listen, be honest, if some people was killing and robbing and stealing around your house, you wouldn't be out in the neighborhood going, now God don't like that. All right, see, now y'all play. You would be with your door locked. You might peek out the window. And that's just to see if they're getting too close to your house. Now are we being real now, right? Right. And for those of you who are packing in the house, you might be looking just to make sure. Come on now, let's be real, and we in God's house. You tell the truth. But this brother's down here, and he's in survival mode because he's just trying to get enough food to feed himself. They've taken the cattle, they've taken all of their harvest, all of their fields are destroyed. They have nothing, all because of their sinful life. And God said, now it's time. I'm going to raise up someone that is going to be an example for who I need them to be. Somebody here know what I'm talking about. Where all you know in your life, God said, I'm going to use you to be an example. And your folks that you've been ministering to won't accept it. They can't look past who you used to be. They can't see you in the newness. They're so comfortable and so used to you being the drunkard who you used to be, or the dealer you used to be, or the whoremonger you used to be. They're so used to that who you used to be, they can't see you in the newness. They don't understand that God is raising you up to be a hero. And so he takes somebody like Gideon, and he calls him, he says, you, I'll be with you.
All right.
Mighty man, mighty warrior, mighty man of valor. Now, watch, listen what Gideon, how did Gideon respond? He said, who, me? His mindset, this is a believer. I'm from the runt. My family's the least, and I'm the least of that. I'm the smallest, I'm the weakest. You can't be calling me mighty. You can't be talking about me. He said, yeah, you. I'm hiding down here, man. I'm scared. You know, don't act like you ain't never been scared before. But he says, watch this. He says, but I know what you're thinking. But don't worry about it. He said, because it's not you that I'm going to, he says, not your strength I'm going to use. I'm going to use my strength in you to make you victorious over the enemy. Because, listen, the folk have gone long enough. I think they're just about right for the turning point. And so I'm going to use you, Gideon, to make a change. And Gideon said, well, this angel must be a man. He can't be God. Because God, this can't be God picking me. It must be some foolish man. And so he asked him for a sign. You know, you ever ask God for something to prove what you're praying for? Oh, come on now. You said, well, God, if this is really you, show me a sign. Provide a way, some evidence. Come on. Some of y'all act like I ain't never done that. I mean, I know I ain't the only one. God, if you really are serious, show me something, open the door, show me something. And this Gideon ain't no different than you and me.
That's right.
So he says, if this is really you, then I'm gonna make he said, I'll be back, I'm gonna make a meal. Now he made a meal for a man. And so he thought, if it's really, if he's really who he says he is, he won't eat this food because he's a spiritual being. So he puts the lamb, goat, little bread, and pour some stock over it on a stone, on a rock. And the angel of the Lord said, he took the tip of his thing, and the rock burned it up. Then the angel disappeared. At that moment, Gideon said, I'm convinced. There has to be, there can't be, nothing but God. And from that moment forward, he says, okay, I'm in. What evidence has God shown you in your life when he brought you through? When you asked for a sign, he showed it to you. But yet now you're asking for another sign. When he's asked for you to do things and you've not done what he needs you to do, watch this. He didn't stop there. He said, okay, God. I know you already showed me. You sound familiar? I know you already blessed me. I know you already saved me from that. Okay, but God, I just need one more time. And so this is what he did. He come. He said, if it's really what you say, if it's really what you're saying, God, let this fleece I'm gonna put on the ground. Now let everything around it be dry, but just the fleece will be wet. God said, all right, okay, no problem. There it is. Man, God, that was. Okay, man, God says, now, here we go. I see it, God. Thank you for the calling. Thank you for the favor. You've been keeping me, God. Thank you. But I just need just one more again. One more again. This time reverse it. Can you let the fleece be dry? And let the dew, let the ground be damp. God. All right. Okay, I got you. Whew, there it is. My God. And there it is. Proof that God is literally in the midst of this. And so what I want to, he said, well, why are you telling me all this? He said, because sometimes we have no problem asking God for things. But watch this. But now God says, now you asked me for some things and I've shown up for you. Now I need for you to do some things. And when he asked us to start doing stuff, we start stumbling and we start stuttering and my time or my work schedule or what? Well, wait a minute, hold up. You didn't have no problem when it was your turn, but now it's my turn, and you want to stutter? What are you talking about? Watch this. No, not only that. He said, sometimes you're trying to break through, and he says, you can't have the peace that I have for you, and you can't have the blessings I have for you until you remove the false gods that are in your life. Okay. I did everything you asked me, but now, Gideon, I need you to do something. Your family, y'all been worshiping some false gods in your house.
Come on.
Yeah, you even worshiping the Baal right in your own house. Yeah, your daddy and all of them been living foul right up under the roof. I know, Gideon, I know you ain't doing it yourself, but you ain't said nothing to them about doing it. And listen and watch this. Not only that, they worshiping the astral pole. You don't know what the astral pole is, do you? Yeah. So you think strip club just started in this day and age? That's what it was back then. No. It was symbolic of pornography, and they had gods. The women would dance around the astral pole, and the men would come and put money as an act of worship. Yeah. And they were living this way, and God said enough was enough. So he tells Gideon, you want me to do some things? I did what you asked me to do. Now, Gideon, it's your turn. Tear down those false gods in your house. Tear them down. Who am I talking to today? Maybe you don't have an astral pole, but you got some other element in your home that's false god, that's getting your attention. Maybe it's a relationship you put before God. Your children or your job, whatever it is, you're putting it before God and you're worshiping it more than him. Your attention is all about him. Everything you got is about that. And God says, I'm tired. Enough is enough. Until you move the false gods from your life, from your house, I can't show up there. I can't show up there. Something has to happen on the inside of your home before you can listen. You're trying to get the outside stuff without dealing with the inside stuff. You're trying to get the blessing without the transformation.
Come on.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Help us, God.
Okay, so here. Some of us have Baals in our life. Some of us have them in our homes. I shared this with our men this morning. When you open the television, you are allowing, depending on the programming you choose, you're allowing it to monopolize your life. You're allowing sinful things to be deposited into your mind, into your heart, and your spirit. I've heard it every day. Oh, no, it don't really affect me like that. I understand. I don't let it control me. Okay, I got you. Well, why when you get mad, all of the stuff that was on there comes out of you? I'm just asking. Okay, no, it's just a song. I just listen to the words. I mean, I like the music. I don't really listen to the words. Oh, okay. Well, how come when this scene always come out? It is just okay. Mary Jane and Empire and Power. Why you think it's okay to be a second, third person in a relationship? Because TV has programmed you to think it's okay. It's normal. Okay, why you backstabbing and lying and cheating? Because the world system has created in you a level of acceptance, a standard that's not in alignment with God. And I want to help you real quick. That's when you're living in sin, and when you have those things set up in your home. And watch this. My phone has programmed times, reminders of when my shows come on. I gotta, because they come on at 9, I got to be there by 9. That now is operating in control of your life. I know you're supposed to be on the choir, you're supposed to be serving and usher, supposed to be, but that's getting in the way of my program. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, I'm a sports fan. I want to come to men's meeting, but I can't miss college football and start. Oh, here y'all go. Monday night football. Here we go. When those things start to become your God, you say, "Well, no, I'm not worshiping them." Yes, you are. When you spend 3 hours watching a football game, and that's one day, but you won't give God 3 hours in a whole week. That's your God. And so he said, sometimes, listen, we're trying to we're trying to get a change, we're trying to get the benefits. God says, I want to deposit so much into you. He said, but until you get the stuff in your house under control, the things that are false gods that are occupying your time and your resources, that's where you're spending all of your time. He says, until those become cast down. And then watch this. He tells them, then take it and burn it, use it as firewood. I love that part. And I can go deeper because I love this book because folk got mad at him. They want to kill him. There's some folk in your life. You tear down some walls and watch what happens. Tear down some gods and watch what happens. Your own kids might come after you. Because they're so comfortable with it. They're so used to it being the norm. When you start coming against it to do it the right way, there are going to be people that'll get upset about it. And I don't care who you are. There are some things in our lives that are keeping us from really accessing and benefiting and living in the blessing of God. And listen, God is saying to us, the only way you can get the blessing is the bells of the inside of your life have to be cast down in order for you to be prepared for the battles. That's why we're losing the battles, people. Because the bells, the false gods in our life, they're keeping us from being prepared for the battles. When the battles come, God's not present. He says, I can't touch that until you tear those down. And watch this. Look at 34. as soon as he tears them down, then God clothes Gideon with the Holy Spirit. Look at this, verse 34. He says, once he tore him down, the false god, verse 34 says, the Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon.
Yes, oh God.
That means that the Spirit of the Lord was put on him. Somebody, you don't know that. Listen, you're trying to say, God, how do I get the clothes? How do I get clothed in you? He said, I need you to tear down those false gods. Tear them down.
Yes, God.
And then when I'll show up,
Yes, God.
then the battle will be won.
Yes, God.
You got the victory. It's waiting for you, but you got to take the first step.
That's right.
And there are things you have to tear down.
That's right.
And listen, and once he turned down, he says, then I step in. That's
Good
it.
Jesus.
I'm not far away from you, but I can't come in the way I want to because you've got me out of the picture. We're trying to operate outside of him. Okay, I'm almost done. Watch this. He says,
Preach, Pastor.
and then not only that, the real blessing now, everything in chapter 6 is the struggle. It's the battle. It's the persecution. Chapter 7 is the victory. You want to know about the victory, read chapter 7. But I want you to see, in your life, some of you have dealt with loss of resources. They started with 20-something thousand men. 32,000 men. God says, that's too many. Because all they're doing is following. You know, there are people that just crowd people. They just want to hang out. They just crowd. There's always crowd people. God says, I'm looking for the committed. I need to reduce this group. So he told me, he says, anybody that's not scared, anybody that's scared, fearful, whatever, you can leave. 22,000 left. I'm saying, dang on. What kind of dudes are these? Next thing you know, it's only 10,000 left. God said, that's still too many. He said, it's still too many. Because if I let him go to battle with 10,000, they'll think they're the reason for their victory. Sometimes God says, I got to reduce your resources so you know all of your blessings is completely because of me. Your victory is strictly because of me. And so he told them, he put them to a test to reduce the number to 300. And he told them, now, the 300 that you have now, these are committed folk. These folk going to be with you through the hard stuff. There's some people that you got to let God reduce you down to. So that when you're going through, they're committed. They're going to walk with you. They're going to talk with you. They're going to pray with you. They're going to hold your hand. I don't need those folks just to be in the crowd. I need committed folk. There are churches all over this country. They got thousands in their membership. But they only got about 100 committed. We got 180 people on our membership right here. But we only got about 65 committed. And what I'm trying to get you to understand, there's nothing wrong with that. God said, I know. But I'm going to reduce it down so you know exactly who's in the game with you. And Gideon had down to 300. He said, He said, but God, there ain't no way I can go from the ratio now is 450 to 1. How in the world am I? He said, I will be with you. That's why I asked you the question. Do you believe that he's with you, whatever you're going through? Because Gideon went from being in the cellar to getting all of all of the evidence that he needed. And he still had questions. God says, what else do you need me to do? He says, I need you to trust me one more time. You got 300 brothers. They got 400 and something thousand. 200 and something thousand, whatever it is. You're going to go up against them and be victorious. But how can I win this? Come on, you ever been there?
Yes.
Where the odds are not in your favor. Where it looks like you're doomed from the start. How could God ask me to go into this knowing the odds are against me? The difference is this. You have to have an uncommon faith. You can't, listen, in order to be the hero God wants you to be, you have to understand this is a faith move. And Gideon finally gets to the place where he says, okay, I'm going to trust God. Scared as I was, hurt as I am, broken as I am, I have to trust God. Watch this. Sometimes you can't get the blessing until you go through the broken.
All right.
He takes him through a broken period purposefully to be a blessing. These brothers signed up thinking they're going to battle. Can you imagine? You think you're getting your war gear together? You getting your swords and your spears and everything. You about to go to battle. And Gideon said, no. Put that stuff down. What? We're going to war. No. God said, no. Just get a horn. A horn? What kind of battle was this? That's what he said. He said, get a horn. Get a jar. A jar. And then get your torch. Man, we gonna get slaughtered. This is not what I signed up for. And some of them brothers were standing there. I can just imagine they being. If Gideon, you come out and say, man, we get your torch, a jar, and a horn. Some of y'all might have been like, man, listen, I just remembered she asked me to do work on the house. I gotta go. Hey. But it takes a level of faith to walk into that situation. Not in your strength, in his strength. God says, sound the horn.
Amen.
That's your witness. When you sound the horn, it's your witness. Are you sounding the horns in your job? Are you sounding the horns in your community? Are you sounding the horns in your house? Sounding the horns. It's your witness. Are you witnessing loudly? Blowing your horn with no hesitation. He says, then when you blow the horn, he said, listen, he said, then take the jars and break them. Take the torch, break the glass, break the jar. He says, now your jars are your weakness. He said, weakness? Yeah. He said, because your strength is, he said, I show up in your weakness. Oh, you ought to thank God for weakness. Because it's when he shows up the most. And not only that, he said, remember, he said, this is where I deposited these clay jars. He said, my spirit is in the clay jars. You are the body. All right? So your weakness is where he deposits it. Then he says, then your torch. Your torch is the light of God.
All right.
He says, I made you to be the light of the world. Are you afraid to shine your light in dark places? Watch this. He says, now, on the sound of 3, we're going to do all of this. We're going to sound our horns. We're going to break our glasses. And we're going to flare up our torches. And in the midst of, and then all of a sudden, now the word that God is telling him this, and I pray you hold on long enough to hear me say this. He says, in the midst of all that, Gideon has already been shown everything. And his last time he said, but God, are you sure? How is this going to work? That don't sound like none of nobody in here do it. Come on, be honest. I'm trying to help you. Be honest. You done went through all, God has showed you all your life. And you still trying to figure out, but God, are you sure? God says, am I sure? I've been here since the beginning. I'm the reason you got this far. And you're asking me, am I sure? That's Gideon. That's what he's doing. He's asking him. He said, God, but listen. And so he said, okay, Gideon, you want, let me reassure you one last time. Creep over and listen to the enemy. Yeah. And he eavesdropped from the enemy. Now the enemy is in the camp, and this is how God works. You're over here worried about the devil. You're worried about the enemy. You're worried about the struggle. You're worried about all that, and you're over here worried. And listen, and over here the enemy is worried about you. And so God says, okay, Gideon. You're worried about it. I normally don't do it this way, but I just want to, for a second, I want to give you just a snippet of what I got in store for you. He says, so just tiptoe over to the neighbor's house. Put your ear up to the door and listen to what they say. And then on the other side, the enemy is going, they said they got a guy over there named Gideon. They said he's a big big old strong warrior. And they gonna tear, they got a massive army. And the enemy is scared to death. And you over here going, how can I do this, God? Are you sure, God? God says, listen, if you show up with me, I'm more powerful than no matter what the size of your power or your enemy. One thing about God, watch this. God says, no matter what the issue is you're facing, I've already behind the scenes started to work it out for you. Gideon had to learn that lesson, but he got it. And so as he eavesdropped, he heard it. And he said, oh my God. And he started having a praise party, a worship session. And listen, so what he did was his confidence went up. His courage got better. And he told the people, trust me, y'all, I heard it for myself. We're going to blow the horns. We're going to witness. We're going to operate in our weakness so he can be strong in us. He said, and we're going to let our light shine wherever we go. And that's how we're going to be victorious. And he showed up. And I don't know about you, but I want to double dog dare you that when you get to that place that you don't trust in the I'm trusting God for the victory. But I question them every now and then. I just ask you, this is God, just let me hear a little bit about what you got in store for me. And God is so faithful that he'll let you hear all about it. Oh, you got to tell him right now, thank you. He says, I'm going to make you a hero. And the rest of the story is in chapter 7, where he shows up and the folk got so scared behind the scenes, they heard the horn blow, the witness. They heard the jaws breaking, the weakness. And they saw the light shine. And all of a sudden, the enemy started losing their mind. Here they come, y'all. It's a whole bunch of them. And they turned on each other, started killing each other. And when Gideon got over, all they had to do was celebrate. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. You trying to figure out how you going to get the victory. I said, already. You was operating in fear. You was living in a low place. You was a nobody. They looked at you funny. They treated you funny. They said you ain't going to be. But I come to tell you today, the devil's a lie. God said I can use anybody. If you're willing, stand on your feet and say, Lord, use me. Make me a hero. Why don't you give him a hand clap of praise? You're unlikely. You're unlikely. You're unlikely. You're not like the regular person. You got something inside of you that he wants to do a great work through. Your circumstance, your situation does not have the final say in your life. You, with God, can do all things, but without him, you can do nothing. Give him a hand clap of praise.